Hi everyone, David here from daviddumaiaudio.com, and today I want to talk about how you can improve your sound design by using iterations. Now, there's actually three reasons why you would use iterations that I kind of jotted down here, and hopefully I can share that with you and show you guys how you can use it, why you would use it, and why it's useful, and how it can help your work. So what is an iteration? Basically, it's an improvement on a sound that you've already created. So if you have like a sound that you made, you have like maybe 10 layers, let's say, to the sound. Like here, I already have 2 sounds that I've created. An iteration would be like either replacing a layer, so like I'd move that out and put another one in, or it can be adding a layer, so just adding another one in, or adding 2 layers, or any variation on this. So that's basically what an iteration would be. So why would you want to work in this way? There's a few reasons. One, it creates, you can use it to create variation on your sound. Now, this is kind of like controversial, or sort of like you would want to always create variation on your sound, but generally speaking, nowadays in video games, you'll kind of do that within the game engine, where you'll kind of set like a parameter, like let's say for pitch, for example, you'll set that every time that a gun fires, let's say we're talking about gun sounds, every time a gun fires, you would pick like. You would set, let's say, +4 and then -4, and then every time a gun fires, you would say like to pick a value between those two, between -4 and +4. So the pitch would always be changing, and that's how you would create variation on a sound. So you're using the same sound file, but you're creating variation by automating and changing the pitch for this example, let's say. But another way you can do this, if you're doing this manually, is by changing the layers. Then that's what I was just showing you guys here. So for number 2 is that it helps you find the source of whatever problem you're trying to fix, or whatever sound you're trying to create. So as you're creating sounds, you'll always be adding layers and layers, as everyone knows. Sound design, you're always layering, and that's how you create awesome sounds. So when you're using layers in this way, you'll have your layers, and if a sound isn't working, you can always replace a layer and then see if it works or not. And as you do this, you get to see if and why something is working or not working, which is really useful, because then you'll learn what works and what doesn't work. And then, you can use that and apply that for the next time. So let's say for here, like I have swing sounds. So, I don't know, let's hear it. Like I'm using a swing sound. Let's say that's okay, but I want something a bit more high pitch or in your face. Like let's say I wanted to add that in, see if it works. Let's make it a little louder. Even more. Add some more gain to it. You could say, oh, okay, yeah, I'm getting closer to the sound. Well, now you know that adding some more of this high pitch stuff really is helping your sound. It's helping it feel closer. It's helping it be a bit more punchy the way you want it to be, right? And if it wasn't working, then you would learn that whatever you put in there, it's not having the sound for whatever reason. If it's too bassy, well, I already have too much bass. So adding more bass is not going to make it more punchy, So doing this process helps you learn and understand sound design and how sound works, and how layering works, which is really useful. So that's the second reason why you would use this. And the third reason why you would use this in video games is that whenever you are working on sounds with somebody else, like with a game developer, let's say, a lot of times there'll be a lot of back and forth when you're working on a sound. You'll create a sound, maybe 2-3 variations on a sound, the same sound, and they'll come back and say, that's not quite exactly what we want. Can you do a bit more of this or a bit more of that? And then you'll have to come back in your project and kind of tweak it up. If you're creating variations, you can save each variation as a new thing. So this could be like one. I could save that as one thing as one sound, and then I could like copy that here, and then this will be like number 2, and then I could put these in like folders. So this is going to be sound 2 or iteration number 2, right? You kind of get the picture. So this will be number 1, this will be number 2, and that can go number 3. And then as you're going, if you ever need to go back to a sound, if your game developer is like, I think we've gone too far from original idea, conception of the sound, can you go back to this sound that you created and redo this one? Well, if you don't have the iterations ready and all set up like this, you won't be able to go back. So this is another reason why you would use this, because that way you can easily go back to previous ones that you've done, easily tweak it up, or if there's something that you like from a certain sound, like, oh, I really like the punchiness of this one. How come? Oh, is there a kick, or is there a bassy sound here? okay, well, why don't I drag that and put it into this sound? It's really easy to kind of go back and forth and see what you've done and create the exact sound that you want. So that's kind of why you would use iterations and in video games and in sound design. So hopefully you guys find that useful in your work, and maybe you can apply it in your work. And if you have, that's great. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks. Bye.